This is Peter Griffin, Mark Francois, and Mark said something very naughty inside the House of Commons. But should we really be shocked? It's like saying,
crime wave in Gotham. Other breaking news. Water. Wet.
And obviously that isn't the first time. Have a listen to this from Lucy Fraser about Scots.
Who defeated the Scots at Dunbar, incorporated Scotland into his protectorate, and transported the Scots as slaves to the colonies. Now, there's an answer to the West Lothian question.
And why should we be surprised? This all comes during the tenure of a Prime Minister who said repeated racist comments about multiple ethnicities in the UK.
Speaker, if I decide to wear a turban, or you decide to wear a cross, or he decides to wear a kippah or a skull cap, or she decides to wear a hijab or a burqa, does that mean that it is open season for right honourable members of this House to make derogatory and divisive remarks about our appearance? For those of us who from a young age have had to endure and face up to being called names such as Towelhead or Taliban or coming from Bongo land, we can appreciate full well the hurt and pain felt by already vulnerable Muslim women when they are described as looking like bank robbers and letterboxes. Rather than hide behind sham and whitewash investigations, when will the Prime Minister finally apologise for his derogatory and racist remarks?
As we all know, the likelihood of an apology coming from a Tory is as likely as hell freezing over. And now, of course, we have our most recent thing with Peter Griffin.
Which we've exported to both Canada and Australia, and we all want to see it in service as soon as possible. So it's doubly disappointing that last week the department issued a written ministerial statement to say her entry into service is now delayed a further year from October 2027 to October 2028, and the lifetime cost of the programme will be over £250 million more of taxpayers' money. Given the defence budget is likely to come under great pressure, why does it take BAE Systems 11 years to build a ship that can build in 4?
You might go, what's the problem? It's only an abbreviation of the word Japanese. Well, it's a problem because the Japanese say it's a problem and they consider it a racial slur, which dates all the way back to World War II. In fact, it was considered so offensive that the Japanese embassy logged a formal complaint. A spokesman for the embassy said, the Embassy of Japan informed MP Mark Francois that the word used was inappropriate and requested the correction. However, in a statement, Francois almost doubles down on what he said, suggesting that actually it was a form of compliment towards the Japanese. Could you imagine a situation where he'd use the same thing with the N-word? And as for the excuse of not knowing, well, interestingly enough, Paul McCartney in the 1980s got nicked in Japan for having cannabis on him, but he also caused controversy for his album, which had the same word that Mark Francois used. So this is 40 years ago, and it caused outrage at the time. So it's interesting to see that Mark Francois is trying to use this as some form of defense, yet 40 years ago it was known as a racial slur. Now I don't know about you, but it's getting a little bit tiresome having to have to deal with the Tory scandals that continually come out. You were hoping that the ship was going to be straightened with Rishi Sunak. Well, you're completely wrong, because it's still the same old, same old. And of course, this always adds to global Britain, because once again, one of our MPs is saying something racist, and it means that there's a distraction within government because they're having to deal with the fallout of a diplomatic row because Mark Francois claims he didn't know that that was a racial slur. And essentially, this just reminds me of the old George Bush quote.
There's an old saying in Tennessee, I know it's in Texas, probably in Tennessee, that says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Thanks for those wise words, George. And on that note, thank you to all of my lovely supporters and all of you people that donate towards the channel. It helps the channel grow and keep on going. If you'd like to help for free, just click the like button. And remember, don't vote Tory in the next election.